Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Rising. Today I'm going to show you how I made my fluffy snake. Without further ado, let's get into it. To make the head, I started with some aluminum foil and squished it and molded it until it was the size and shape that I wanted. But it was a little bit too small. As you can see right about here, when I compared it to the size of the eyes, it was way too small. So I needed to add some extra aluminum foil to give it some more size to it. Much better. Now, time for the clay. This was my first time ever working with this stuff, so I was pretty excited to use it. I took some little chunks of clay, squished them, made sure they were good and flat, and then started to put them on the head. Then, using my handy dandy blender, I blended and blended all the creases out of the different clay pieces. Once that was done, it was time to add the eyes. I was pretty excited to use these eyes too because I loved the color and I thought they were super cute. Then I added a little worm of clay around the eyes. That way I could blend them into the head and make them look a little more natural. Beautiful, isn't it? Now, if you want a snake with two eyes, I'd recommend putting a hole in the other side of the head, putting an eye there, and then blending that into the head. Then I cut off a little rectangle of clay and put it in between the eyes. That way I can give the head a little bit more shape. Then once I was done with that, I noticed the nose was a little too short, so I added a lump of clay on the front and blended that into the head to make the nose look a little less stubby. Then it was time to add the mouth. And an adorable little tongue, which later broke off, but I'm not too sad about it. Then after that, it turns out that high heat and plastic don't mix. And one of the eyes completely melted. Not completely, but it cracked and separated from the screw that was holding it in the eye. So we had to completely grind it out of the eye. So, yeah. But we're gonna add the eyes again later. So after that was done, it was ready to be put on the armature. After poking a hole in the back of the head with some scissors and smoothing it out with whatever that is, I connected it to the armature pretty successfully. And then I filled it with hot glue, prepared to attach it. But I want to issue a quick little warning here, because when I did this, the head wasn't very securely attached to the body. So I later came back, sanded the armature down, and then re-glued it, and it was so much better. So make sure before you add the head, sand the armature down a little bit, and then you'll be good to go. Anyway, back to the video. After that was all done, I was just gonna wait for it to dry so I could add the quilt batting. I just continued wrapping this around the body until it was built up to how I wanted, while tying it off, adding up the midsection. After that was all done, it was time to prime the face. I used white and painted it all over and made sure I didn't miss any spots, because if I did miss spots with the fur, you could just see the white instead of weird gray speckled clay. And adding the fur on the face was a little tricky. because we weren't given very clear instructions on what to do with the face. So we went our own way. As you can see with the neck here, right here, it was kind of complex. We had to take the neck, pull it up and glue it to the head, and then add this square bit of fur that we had taken out. We painted the head with some Fabri-Tac with a paintbrush, and then later we decided, hey, this is going to take way too long to cure. Let's use some hot glue. So we did. We put hot glue all over the head and started molding the hair around the head, and I think it turned out pretty good. Okay, so here's the finished product. Fluffy, cute, all that you need in a snake. Well guys, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please drop a like and subscribe. And I just thank you all for watching. This was Phoenix Rising, signing off, and I hope you enjoyed these little pictures I took of the snake.